Hey, you, psst, come here. Do you want to know the best Disney secrets? You've come to the right place. Today we're going to be talking about 15 fun, weird, and free things that you can find around Disney World that are actually easy plus-ups to any trip or just some cool stuff to know. These secrets are mainly for those newer to Walt Disney World, but stick around to see if even the pros can learn something new. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to talk about this morning is right here on Main Street, and it's actually Casey's Corner, which we talk about a lot for food reasons, but not for this. So Casey's Corner is home of the famous hot dogs and the famous corn dog nuggets, but did you know they actually do an opening ceremony every single day before this store opens? Typically, 1 to 2 people are going to get to do what Casey's calls their first pitch. Just like any baseball game, they have an opening pitch for the day. So they choose their person or people to do the opening pitch for the day, and then typically that person ends up getting a free baseball brownie.
Hey, how are we today?
Woo!
Here at Casey's Corner, we have 2 very special opening traditions. Our first one is like any ball game, we throw out our opening pitch, and I have my very special birthday princess Emily here. Ready? We throw it. 1, 2, 3.
It is so cute, sweet, and it's something that only happens once a day. It's a really, really quick thing and typically happens right at 10:30 when the restaurant opens.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
So that just ended up being super, super sweet. It was the birthday girl who got to throw the pitch, and you know what? She did a better job than I ever could. Plus, they did give out the free brownie, and we all got to sing along. I didn't sing because I didn't want to ruin it, but it's a lot of fun, and it took literally less than a minute. But it's just something neat that you get to see around Disney World that a lot of people don't know about, so it's considered a Disney secret. This is Main Street Cinema. It is technically just a store. If you've ever been to the Disneyland one, it actually plays little Mickey Mouse clips. Now this one is, again, just a store, but they do something really simple and really neat that I actually love. So a lot of this store is actually dedicated to headwear. You can find some other things like t-shirts, lounge flies, mini ears, but the real kicker is the headwear. And the reason that that's so cool is because they do this thing called Director's Hat of the Day. So while I'm filming this, the park opened about 30 minutes ago and they have already chosen the Director's Hat of the Day. Today Avery got to select it and she chose these beautiful mini ears. The reason I think this is so neat is because a new person gets selected every single day. It's a free experience, and because it's only one person per day, it's actually pretty rare, and I think a really special Disney memory. It's just cute, fun, and free, and not everyone gets to do it, so if you get chosen, it's pretty special. Now, our next thing is something that I talk about as often as I can that you can actually do all around Disney World, and that is pin trading. Okay, so complete honesty moment right now. I've been changing bags, and I recently switched over to this like amazing lug bag. There you go. We really love lug, but I didn't put my pins in it, so I'm gonna have to buy a pin today, and we're gonna talk a little bit about pin trading and what that looks like. So you can buy pins in almost every single Disney store, but I'm here in the Emporium, and I'm gonna grab a little pin for us to trade. Now, if you don't know what pin trading is, essentially you're gonna pick out a pin and you can keep it, or if you don't like it, you can trade it. There's tons of options to trade all over Disney World. Pin collecting, just to collect, not necessarily trade, is one of my favorite activities in Disney, and I do it on every single trip. But I have so many obsessions. Like, look how sweet this is. I also think they just make perfect souvenirs because they're so tiny. You can really personalize them, so if you know that somebody loves a Goofy movie, but there's not a lot of Goofy movie merch, grab a pin. Now, because I forgot my pin today, I don't want to buy one that I absolutely love to trade, because I don't want to get rid of it. If you buy it because you love it, you don't want to trade it. They do, though, if you want to get into pin trading, but you don't want to risk spending something you really love, they have these hidden Disney mystery pouches. These contain 2, so I'm going to grab one of these, and that way if I don't like one of them, we can just go trade it. I've got my pins. I do have 2 of them now. This was $18 for 2 pins. Not the worst thing you could buy in Disney World financially. We're going to open it together and see what we get. I have no idea what this could be. Okay, the first one is a little scary, the scary baby doll from Toy Story, with the head on the spider arms. Okay, and then the second one, oh stop. Okay, and then the little cherries. Okay, now that I have our pins, let's go ahead and go trade them. I just think this is so much fun, and this is one of those things that I would do this every day if I can. Like, I had to stop buying pins. And I know I don't have that many compared to like serious pin collectors, but I had to slow down. Also, one thing I want to talk about is both of these pins, and all legitimate Disney pins, have a pin trading seal on the back, as well as these lovely little Mickey reflections that you can see. Now, the thing that's really cool about both of these is you can't buy either of these. These have to be either gotten out of a blind bag or they have to be traded. And both of these are a part of a set. They're both actually 3 out of 5 for the Pixar set and for the Disney set. And so if you're into collecting and trying to find those, it's just like a fun little thing that you can do during your Disney trip that's kind of a plus up. Guests can actually pin trade with cast members again. That's recently just been brought back. Anyone who's wearing a lanyard or one of the pin packs throughout Disney World, you can actually trade with them. There's also pin trading boards that you can find throughout Walt Disney World Resort, but it's really exciting to me that they've just finally brought it back for cast members, because it's just a great way to kind of interact with the cast and have those really special and curated experiences. Now, it looks like we're back in Main Street Cinema, but they do have a pin board, so I'm gonna go peek at it and see what they have. Okay, so first I spotted this Lucifer one, which is so neat. Lucifer, the cat from Cinderella. But then I saw Jessica Rabbit, so I'm gonna do Jessica Rabbit. So I already asked the cast member. She said I have complete permission to do this. So I'm gonna take my pin, take the back off of it, take Jessica Rabbit down, put that guy, and put the pin back. Come here. I'm so pumped about my Jessica Rabbit one. Now, this is an official Disney pin. I can tell because the pin logo is on the back. Let's see. This is a hidden 18 of 20, and you can also find the years on the back of the pin, which I think is really neat. Personally, I don't love lanyards for pin trading. I don't like to wear it around my neck just because it gets heavier, but I do like to put them on my fanny packs and on my bags. And if you're nervous about your pins falling off, you can actually find lockbacks for these. They're sold throughout Disney World, and it just gives you peace of mind if you want to wear those nicer, more expensive pins, that you're probably not going to lose them. Okay, I'm now completely distracted trying to find a pin. I need to keep talking about secrets. We need to keep talking about secrets. But I did find another one. So this one that I found is just a really sweet Tinkerbell outline that I really love. Tinkerbell is one of my favorite characters, and this one's actually from 2015, which is really neat. So very excited. Okay, now we'll finish off our pin trading talk and we can get back to secrets. Now, as we head towards our next secret, there are a few things I want to say about pin trading that I think are really important. There's going to be a few guidelines. You can't just do it willy-nilly. You can't just give them whatever. You have to trade a pin for a pin. You cannot see a pin that you absolutely love and just give them any money, give them cash. No, you need to trade a pin. And honestly, I've done that before where I've not had any pins to trade, but I've seen one that I absolutely was dying to have, and I'll just go buy the cheapest pin I can find and go trade for it. Now, another thing that is really important is you cannot trade unauthorized pins, plastic pins, rubber pins, anything that's not metal. If it has your name on it, anything personalized or like a brooch, none of that counts. Now, I know some people will go on Etsy or they'll go on eBay and they'll just find bags of pins if they are collectors, but you need to know you cannot trade those unless they are an authorized Disney pin with that logo on the back. I really love this because once you own one pin, for the most part, it's a free experience, it's a free activity, and it's just a lot of fun. Our next Disney secret is going to bring us here to Fantasyland, and here specifically to Sir Mickey's. Sir Mickey's is actually like a merchandise kind of shop. You're going to find a lot of like princess themed items in here, as well as the photo booth for the Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique photos. So you're going to find a handful of things in here, but the thing that I'm most excited about, pinboard, the thing I'm most excited about is actually pixie dusting. So you're going to find these fairy godmothers in training. That's technically the people who work at Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique, but these are their friends. And their friends have magic wands with pixie dust in it. Thank you so much. So this is just one of those free, really neat things that you can do here at Sir Mickey, specifically in Magic Kingdom. It takes no time at all. It's just cute. And if you're at Disney and you're like girly or you just want to like feel the magic, embrace it. Get pixie dusted. Cover yourself in glitter. Life is too short. And I'm speaking to Sage directly, because Sage hates doing this. I'm speaking to Sage directly. Life is too short. Live in glitter, embrace the magic, and embrace your fantasy, and get pixie dusted, okay? please help me sound off in the comments that Sage also needs to start getting pixie dusted. It's time to grow up, Sage. Grow up. Now, if you are a Disney OG, this is probably not new news to you, but a lot of our secrets are not necessarily for the OGs, but for the people coming to Disney for the first time. Now, if you didn't know, you can actually get pixie dusted on the cruise line as well at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutiques. It's not something you can do in the other parks as of now, but if you're on a cruise, go get pixie dusted. Now, this next little secret you can also do all around Disney World, especially here in Magic Kingdom, but literally anywhere you go. Hidden Mickeys. If you don't know what a hidden Mickey is, a hidden Mickey is basically like a representation of Mickey Mouse, and it's not saying like Mickey Mouse there above PhilharMagic. No, it's like finding secret 3 circles, essentially, of Mickeys that have been inserted kind of subtly into designs of like rides, attraction, any of the Disney theme park properties, honestly, and sometimes even animated films, TV series, like tons of little things. If you see the clouds kind of look like a subtle Mickey, a lot of times it's because it is a subtle hidden Mickey. Now, this is one of my favorite Disney World things because it is so fun to just keep your eyes peeled, be out hunting for these hidden Mickeys, and it's free. Some hidden Mickeys are a little bit more obvious. One of my favorites is personally the one on the People Mover. Some of them are a little bit more obvious. Some of them are a little bit more hard to find, and there's even books that people have written about where to find them. It's such a feat of Imagineering that this is now just something that Imagineers do for themselves to have a little fun, and guests get to participate in by hunting it and seeing the love and attention and detail that they've put into the rides. Now, I'm close to Ariel, so I do want to show you my other favorite, the one that's not on the People Mover, because this one is really, I think, hard to see even if you know it's there. So one of the craziest ones is actually here at the exit for the Little Mermaid. And it's gonna be on the right if you're coming out of the attraction. Okay, so this one is super hard to see, but I can just barely see it, but it's Steamboat Willie. So his arm is right over here in this section. His face is right here with his nose, and you can see his hat and even the little very, very hidden wheel of the ship. So you can see his hand is on it. It's a hidden Mickey, and you would never know that. Now, one of these secrets is gonna take us outside of the park because we're gonna talk about transportation. Now, transportation cards is a fairly big secret. I feel like a lot of people don't know about this one, but it's a really cool free Disney souvenir. The Disney Transportation team has a series of free collectible trading cards, perfect for kiddos or adults who like to collect. There are bus, monorail, tram, and a boat series, and all of them are numbered and have fun facts and hidden Mickey hints printed on the back of the colorful cards. The cards also have really neat specific facts on the back. For example, the tram series list has the total number of tram colors and the dimensions of the parking tram tractors. Now, most of the transportation team should have access to these, so just ask if you're curious. These are a really neat free experience that you and your kiddos can partake in, and it's kind of an exciting thing to do even before you get to the park or as you're leaving. One thing is Liberty Square right here. Scarily accurate. Now, this is one of the weird things we're going to talk about when you are here in Magic Kingdom, and you're going to be able to spot it pretty easily. It's actually already on the camera. Liberty Square is much more accurate than people think because Disney didn't even include bathrooms in this area. There's the famous poop river. Ugh. It's down here in Liberty Square, and it adds to the theming that Imagineers supposedly included to reference the lack of bathrooms during the colonial time period. Now, there are technically 2 bathrooms that you can use in this land. One is over here inside Liberty Tree Tavern, and then the other one is upstairs in Columbia Harbor House. This is mainly because they have to have restrooms with each restaurant. However, the way the restrooms are designed, they are technically outside of the bounds of Liberty Square. You're gonna have to dine at either spot to enjoy these restrooms, but it's kind of a comfort to know that you might not have to run to a completely different land if you need, to use the bathroom. This next secret is actually Magic Kingdom specific, because did you know that you could stay the night in Cinderella Castle for free, that's actually the only way to stay in it. Now this is technically a free offering, but almost no one gets to enjoy it. When Magic Kingdom opened and Cinderella Castle debuted in 1971, this was actually not a hotel room. No, it was just kind of the opposite of that. The space that is now the Cinderella Castle Suite was actually a multi-purpose room just for utility storage. It has some desks, some phones, some storage, but no hotel room like we know it today. No, the spot that you know as Cinderella Castle Suite was actually reimagined by Imagineers not all that long ago. The Cinderella Castle Suite can actually sleep up to 6 people, and it opened for the Year of a Million Dreams, which was actually a promotional campaign that ran over a decade ago. It was given away as a grand prize to one family a day. Now remember how I said it's free? Technically, it's because the only way that you can stay in Cinderella Castle Suite is to win it in a prize or to be gifted it by Disney. But typically you gotta win this thing. You can't pay for it, and rumor has it people have offered $40,000 a night and Disney has still said no. The legend about this space and why it even exists is supposedly Walt Disney had intended to use this area for him and his family when they would come, but when Walt passed away in 1966, it just kind of turned into that office space that we talked about. Now the only place that the suite is visible from is actually over here on this bridge to Liberty Square into Adventureland. It's the small stained glass window that's kind of above Cinderella Royal Table, which is the only way that you can go inside and pay for it. Now you can go in the castle if you're willing to pay. You can go to Cinderella Royal Table. It's a table service inside that we actually have a full review of up on the channel. It's character dining. It's really neat, but that's the only way to get inside, and it's just for a few hours, and no, you can't spend the night there. Did you know there's a secret club all around Disney World? It's hidden, but we know about it. But I'm not able to get in, and you probably aren't either. Now, if you've ever heard of it, Club 33 is that secret club all around Disney, comprised and made up of a number of private dining clubs located throughout several of the Disney parks, actually. Now, the first one opened in 1967 over in Disneyland, and the club was modeled after several executive VIP lounges were created by a pavilion in the 1964 New York's World Fair. At the time, Club 33 was actually the only place that you can get an alcoholic beverage in Disneyland. Now, there's actually a few Club 33s all around the world. So there's Disneyland, there's the ones here in Disney World that we'll talk about, but then there's also one over in Tokyo and in Shanghai as well. Now there's technically not an official spot for one in Disney California Adventure, but Club 33 members actually get access to a special lounge over Carthy Circle. Now if we're talking specifics, the Walt Disney World parks have 4, one in each park, and you're actually looking at one right now. Right here in Adventureland, right past the sign, and this is the door to get in. Now you're gonna have a lot of money, to be honest, and we'll talk price in just a second, but if you see this little 33, you've managed to find the club. And maybe one day I'll beat down the door and they'll let me in. You can find animal kingdoms between Pandora and Africa in Harambe House. You can find Epcot's in the America Pavilion. It's called the Constellation Club. And Hollywood Studios is above the Hollywood Brown Derby, and it's the Spotlight Lounge. Now these are really cool secret clubs, but you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny to get involved in that secret club. Supposedly, the prices for Magic Kingdom specifically are $35,000 entry fee with a $16,000 annual fee. And fun fact, just because you have the cash does not mean that you can just throw it at a cast member and walk in the door. No, friends, there's a wait list. Now, supposedly this wait list has ranged anywhere from 500 to 800 people over the years, and you actually have to be invited by Disney to join the club. I'm so sorry to break it to you. Now, if it makes you feel any better, you don't necessarily have to be in the club to make it into Club 33. If you have a friend who is a Club 33 member, they can invite you depending on where they're at and if they're able to get in that day, which is pretty much my only hope of getting into a Club 33 dining location. So if you guys just want to like hang out in Club 33 and you happen to be a member and you just want to like hang out, like let us know. Don't do that, don't, but that'd be cool. Hey, you know those screams? They're not real. Yeah, those famous screams around the Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, they're pre-recorded. If you're feeling fueled by the terror around you, just remember, for the most part, it's not real. It's also supposedly a combo of pre-recorded screams and a microphone near the top of the elevator drop. While the drops are still real, you can rest assured it is not as scary as you think it might sound. But that's coming from me, and it's still pretty scary. But the screams, pre-recorded. Now this secret is where things get a little bit scary. Did you know that there's a ghost that haunts a Disney World ride? No, not Haunted Mansion, obviously. A different ride, but still in Magic Kingdom. Now, Haunted Mansion might not be legitimately haunted, but supposedly Pirates of the Caribbean is. Now, there are a few rumors, but the main one that persists is there is a ghost named George that haunts Pirates of the Caribbean. There's kind of a few variations of how George came to be in his lore, but the basics are essentially that George was a construction worker. He was hired to help build that brand new Pirates of the Caribbean attraction in Magic Kingdom, but during construction, George either fell or was crushed by a large piece of set, I guess a beam maybe. It unalived him instantly. Now, some variations of the lore kind of say that the tall windowed tower that can be seen during the well/burning city scene is actually the piece of set that killed poor George. Now, supposedly, some cast members call that section George's Tower, and supposedly his initials are carved into the base of the tower, and when they try to paint over them, they just come back. All alleged. Now, the real reason we know about George is because supposedly George does haunt Walt Disney World attractions and tends to make life a little difficult for cast members and guests if they don't show him the proper respect. But don't worry, he's not malicious. No, George is just a little mischievous. The most famous part of the myth says that cast members actually have to wish him a good morning and a good night at the start of the day before they leave, because if they don't, he's going to make life tough on them by causing lots of issues to Pirates of the Caribbean. It's going to malfunction, it's going to break down through the day, and it's all because of George. Allegedly, cast members will actually blame the cast members from the night before if the ride is broken down in the morning, saying that they did not wish George a good night. Now, I do feel it's important to say that there were no reported deaths on Pirates of the Caribbean or in Magic Kingdom in the 1970s when this was being built/opened, but it's still fun. It's a little fun ghost story, some lore for you, and a secret that not everybody knows about. Next up is a hidden detail that you can actually catch right before you soar around the world over in Epcot. So in case you didn't know, the flight you take on Saurin is flight 5505. That's actually a reference to the ride's Disney World opening date. Saurin actually opened in Epcot on May 5th in 2005, and I truly cannot believe that it has been 19 years since the first time flight 5505 took off. Now, I find it an absolute crime that the only Rapunzel representation in Walt Disney World are these restrooms, because frankly, I think that just stinks for many reasons. But one way that they actually did Rapunzel right was they at least put in this neat seating area with lots of hidden chargers. So right here in this tree stump, you might be surprised to find, boom, a way to charge your phone. It's really nice and really handy. Disney World, sadly, famously, requires a lot of your phone usage now, thanks to things like My Disney Experience, because you have to use your GD Plus on there, your mobile ordering's on there, you can even check out on there, wait times are on there. Everything's on your phone now, which is really nice and convenient, but it also means that your phone is most likely gonna die at some point during the day. Now, we always have our portable chargers that we love. I literally have 3 on me right now, just because we use our phones and technology a lot, but sometimes your portable chargers even will die. That's why areas like Rapunzel's bathroom are very important. To find that secret hidden charge might be a necessity for your Disney World trip, but Rapunzel's isn't the only spot, even if it is the most famous. Now, the different spots throughout Disney World that have these lovely chargers are Rapunzel's, of course, Pete's Silly Sideshow over in the Storybook Circus area. World Celebration has tons of this amazing stuff, as well as probably Communicore Hall when it opens in June this year, and Pizza Rizzo, surprisingly, in Hollywood Studios. Now, these aren't the only spots, but they're definitely the most helpful, and you have the best chance at finding a place to plug your phone in over there. So always bring your cord just in case. Did you know it's another secret that presidents actually take jobs after office? So here inside the Hall of Presidents is where you can find a really amazing 22-minute show. This show is all about the presidents and the history of America, because Walt Disney was very fond of America and a very proud patriot. Now, 9 of these animatronics of the US presidents were actually recycled by Disney, and you can actually find them in Spaceship Earth now, which is very weird and fun. Those presidents that got a new job, yeah, it was Dwight D. Eisenhower, Franklin Pierce, John Tyler, John Adams, Zachary Taylor, Theodore Roosevelt, William Taft, Andrew Jackson, and James Buchanan. Now, their jobs have definitely changed since they were here presidents in the Hall of Presidents. From their positions as political leaders, the presidents now work as a mandolin player, a scholar, a Turkish scholar, a monk, a centurion, a Roman senator, an Egyptian priest, a printer, and an early printing pioneer, all respectively. And my main takeaway from that secret is all I need to do is turn 35, become president of the United States, and then I can be in a Disney ride. And I don't mean Hall of Presidents, I mean Spaceship Earth. Now, for our last hidden Disney secret, you might know about nods to old attractions and the new ones if you're thinking about things like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. But did you know about the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea one? Now, over here at Under the Sea, The Journey of the Little Mermaid, they actually incorporated the remaining walls of the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea show building, and the Little Mermaid area actually kind of has a few nods to the attraction and the film. Now, one thing you can find in the queue is you can actually find the Nautilus carved into the rock walls, which is really, really neat. There it is. Okay, can you see it right here between the two rocks? You can actually see the Nautilus kind of carved down there really, really lightly right above the water. Another thing that's really cool, and I'm really glad we found that, is that you can actually hear the song from 20,000 Leagues throughout the queue music. That's right, the Whale of a Tale song is actually featured while you're waiting in line, just as like a subtle nod to what was once here. Another nod to this area is that up here on top of the DVC building, you can actually find a squid weather vane, which is just kind of another little nod, and they're scattered all throughout this entire area. One thing that was really neat is a ceremony to commemorate the new attraction's opening actually included a symbolic kind of passing of the torch, if you will, and an original bottle of water was saved from the submarine lagoon, and it was actually poured into the waterfalls right here around the castle. So just lots of neat nods. And now this is not the only example. Once you're riding Winnie the Pooh, you can actually see a photo of Mr. Toad handing over the deed to Owl to kind of commemorate the changing of the guard in that area. And there's actually a statue of Mr. Toad over in the Haunted Mansion queue. But it's sort of those kind of Disney Imagineering secrets that if you don't already know about them, you're probably gonna miss.
Okay, hold on. I'm not even involved in this video and Emma's trying to get me pixie dusted? How is that even fair? You know what? Game on. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Now go watch Emma reveal a bunch of gate-kept Disney expert secrets. There. Pixie dusted.